Introduction. The world feels noisy, unstable, overwhelming. News, social media, constant changes. Sometimes it feels like life is moving faster than we can keep up. So how do we stay rooted? How do we find peace when everything around us is shifting? That's what this talk is about, finding stillness in the storm. Because thriving in chaotic times isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning how to stand steady in the middle of it. Part 1. Chaos as a teacher. We usually think of chaos as a problem, something to fix, escape, or get past. But chaos is also a teacher. Disruption breaks old patterns. It shakes us awake. It forces us to see what we've been avoiding. Think about it. A storm clears the air. It knocks down what's weak, so what's strong can remain. In the same way, personal chaos, the sudden changes, the breakdowns, the moments when life feels upside down, can also reveal truth. Maybe you've been living on autopilot. Maybe you've been stuck in routines that no longer serve you. Chaos breaks that up. It says, pay attention, things can't stay the same. It doesn't feel comfortable, but it opens the door for growth. So the first shift is this. Stop seeing chaos as the enemy. Start seeing it as a guide. A teacher pointing you toward what wants to change. Part 2. Grounding tools. Of course, even if chaos has lessons, it still rattles us. That's why we need grounding tools. Simple ways to bring ourselves back to center when the world feels unstable. The first is breath. When everything spins, your breath is always here. Slow it down. Inhale. Exhale. Repeat. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but your nervous system listens to your breath. When you breathe calmly, your body remembers safety. The second is nature. Step outside. Put your feet on the ground. Look at the sky. Touch a tree. Nature doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It moves in steady cycles. When you connect to it, you sink back into that rhythm. The third is body awareness. Chaos lives in the mind. It tells stories, imagines worst cases, loops fear. The body lives in the present. Place a hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Notice the weight of your body in the chair. That's presence. That's grounding. When you use these tools, breath, nature, body, you create a center inside the storm. You don't control the storm, but you don't get swept away either. Part 3. Turning storms into gateways. Now let's take it one step further. Chaos isn't just something to survive, it can also be a gateway. Pressure transforms things. Think about coal. Under pressure, it becomes a diamond. Chaos is like that. It puts pressure on us. And in that pressure, something new can emerge. Maybe you lose a job. It feels devastating. But in that space, you discover a passion you never would have pursued otherwise. Maybe a relationship ends. The storm feels unbearable. But later, you realize it was the opening you needed to grow into more of yourself. Chaos strips away what's false. It clears space for the truth. It forces transformation we might never choose on our own. And here's the key. When you stop resisting chaos and start working with it, it shifts from destruction to creation. It becomes not just a storm, but a passage into a new life. Practical tools for thriving in chaos. Let me give you a few things you can practice right now. The pause button. When you feel overwhelmed, stop. Count to 5. Take one slow breath. This interrupts the spiral of panic and brings you back to the present. Name what's true now. Say out loud what is actually happening in this moment. Not the story, not the fear, just the facts. Example. I am sitting in this chair. I'm breathing. I am safe right now. This keeps you grounded in reality instead of the storm in your head. Create small islands of calm. Light a candle. Take a walk. Journal. Call a friend. Little pockets of peace can steady you even while the storm continues. Thriving through the storm. Here's the shift I want you to remember. Thriving isn't about waiting for the storm to end. It's about learning to live well inside it. The storm may not be in your control, but your presence is, your breath is, your awareness is. Matt Kahn says, whatever arises, love that. That doesn't mean you enjoy every challenge. It means you stop fighting reality. You soften into it. You let it move through you. And in that softening, you find strength. The gift of chaos. Chaos, in the end, is not just noise, it's an invitation. It invites you to slow down, to let go of old ways, to root deeper in yourself, to discover a strength you didn't know you had. When the storm passes, and it always does, you're not the same. You're clearer, stronger, more awake. A simple picture. Picture a tree in a storm. The wind howls, rain pours, branches bend, leaves scatter. But the tree stays rooted. Its roots go deep into the ground. That's why it survives. You are like that tree. Life will bring storms, but if you root into breath, body, and presence, you can bend without breaking. Conclusion. So let's return to the question we started with. How do we stay rooted when the world feels unstable? The answer isn't to run from chaos. It's to meet it, to learn from it, to ground yourself in breath, nature, and body. To see storms not just as threats, but as gateways to growth. Thriving isn't about avoiding chaos. It's about dancing with it. So when the next storm comes, and it will, remember, you don't have to fear it. You can stand steady in it. You can find stillness inside it. And you can let it shape you into who you're becoming.